Hi everybody, Dan Ullman, Matt Bernier. Special coverage of the Saturday guaranteed $300,000 all-stakes pick 5 on Bluegrass Saturday at beautiful Keeneland. All graded stakes races. The Bluegrass part of the sequence. It's just a phenomenal afternoon of racing.
We know other jurisdictions are good as far as the product. Everyone should look at Keeneland and say that's the way to do it. And I'm not just saying that because we're doing this particular sequence. I mean, this is why we play. For sequences and instances like this where you get guaranteed pools, low takeout, every sort of race you could possibly ask for. What else do you want?
Big days, big money.
That's
what horse players and racing fans look for, especially at beautiful Keeneland on the road to the Kentucky Derby. Race number 6, which kicks off this sequence, has an approximate post time of 3:53 Eastern. It's the Grade 3 Commonwealth Stakes. All of these stakes races have their own expanded stakes preview already up on video.drf.com. So we're going to discuss this from sort of a pick 5 ticket play. We don't have the ticket maker up, but we're going to discuss how we're going to utilize this. I know you like Awesome Slew a lot, the number 9 in race number 6. Is he your lone A, or are you also going to use the logical AP Indian?
No, he would be, if I were playing in the sort of ticket maker fashion, he would be the one that almost all of my weight is on. Awesome Slew. I just think he's coming into this in really good form. I think the race sets up well for him. AP Indian, you have to respect him, regardless of what you think about the layoff. His best race, good enough, he's going to win if he runs his best race, no doubt about it. But I would be having most, if not all of my weight really on Awesome Slew. And then just as a saver, knowing that I like some prices down the road, I'll use AP Indian, but those are the only two for me.
This for me would be a little bit of a spread. Awesome Slew, AP Indian, they would be A's. My other A would be the number 5, Redisdale, who's done nothing wrong. One race at Churchill, 2 races at the Fairgrounds for Brendan Walsh. He's taking a big step up in class. But again, this horse has done nothing wrong, and he could be a nice price in here. He's got the recency over AP Indian as well. My B in here would be the defending champion.
Sure.
Amy's Flatter, trying to mimic that cutback in distance that resulted in his big win at Keeneland last spring. And my deep backup, my C, would be Tale of Savallo. I think has found his niche in these 7 furlong races. He's going to have to improve and work out a trip, and maybe AP Indian has to step back, but he's probably a big price on the tote as well. My only C.
I was going to say, if I were going super deep backups, if I were really diving into Ticket Maker and using C's, I would add in Fish Trap Road. I've always been a fan of his. I don't know that he gets the pace he needs to really accentuate it, particularly if they've turned him into a one-run closer. If he can stay closer, like we saw in some of those races in New York last year, I think he's interesting. But again, for me, I really just stand on those two.
Friends, once we're out, never fear. $400,000 guaranteed pick 4 kicks off in race number 7. 5.5 furlongs on the turf. It's the Grade 2 Shakertown. There is an extremely fast horse in this race that could be loose on the lead. That's Justin Squared.
And Justin Squared is capable of throwing 21 at your head for the opening quarter. No one else can step with that. Now the question becomes, can he see out 5.5, and is turf really what he wants to do? He's with Wesley Ward now. I have to use him. I don't have the courage to just stand on him, but I think he's a major threat in here. I'm torn between using 2 or 3 horses as far as my main plays. If I were only going to use 2, it'd be Justin Squared and it would be Hoagie. Hoagie is just rock solid. All he does is show up and run. If I were going to go 3 as far as main plays, I have to use Rainbow Air. Jason Service is just a wizard as far as these turf sprinters are concerned, and his form is just electric.
He closed like a machine last time out in that Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint, a race where he got bumped hard at the start, was buried down inside, and Power Alert's a pretty good horse that had a gigantic edge on him into the stretch. You're right, Jason Service is a wizard with turf sprinters. This horse would be my lone A. I went a little bit deep in the first leg of this guaranteed $300,000 all graded stakes pick 5. I'm going to use Rainbow Air as my only A, but Justin Squared is going to be my B. Catch him if you can.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting because there's a scenario, we talk about it very often, and far be it me to be the one to sit here and tell you about turf sprints because they are not my forte. But speed is always lethal, particularly going 5 or 5.5. 5.5 at Keeneland, he might be tough to run down.
Keeneland's got guarantees. Pick 5, $300,000. Pick 4, $400,000. DRF.com's got a guarantee as well. Let's throw it up right now. Special offer. You're going to get bonus PPs for this entire sequence when you purchase any Saturday DRF PP. Could be from any track anywhere.
What else could you
Aqueduct, Gulfstream, Santa Anita, Golden Gate, Ajax Downs if they're running. If you want to buy that PP, you're going to get the bonus PPs for this entire all-stakes pick 5 free.
And that includes the bluegrass, which we'll get to in a little
Includes
bit.
the bluegrass.
I mean, what else? What else do you really want? Again, it just makes too much sense.
Third leg of this grade one, this all graded stakes is a grade one. I'm excited about the Madison, to be honest with you. Chad Brown's got two newly purchased horses in here. I prefer the 6 Paula Silver Lining, but I'm interested to see where you're going to go in the Madison.
Using Paula Silver Lining, we talked about it when we did the deep dive in the stakes preview. I'm using Constellation as well, though. This is the Hollendorfer move, second off the bench, dirt sprint, graded stake, yada, yada, yada. I think those are the two that I would have most of my weight on. There is a scenario where if I got narrow in some other spots, I would also include Paid Up Subscriber because I think she's sneaky. I think she's also going to offer big-time value in this particular sequence, mainly because I think Paula Silver Lining is going to be a single on a lot of tickets.
Paula Silver Lining's an A, but not my lone A. Constellation, your top selection in the race, is my other A, and my backup from a B standpoint on a ticket maker scenario would be High Ridge Road. I think it's a little bit underrated, and she's done some nice things at Laurel. She gets a bit of a class quiz here, but I just love the form she's in right now, and Linda's a fantastic trainer. Let's move to more grade one action, the Ashland for 3-year-old fillies going a mile and a 16th leg D, or leg number 4 of this all graded stakes pick 5. We all liked Elate on Out of the Gate, which is available on video.drf.com. But is she your lone A?
No, this is a race for me. I guess my opinion in here is I don't want Pretty City Dancer. So I'm not using her.
My opinion is I don't want Daddy's Little Darling.
Okay, I'm going to use her just because I just think right now she has a little bit more upside than Pretty City. I'm sick of Pretty City Dancer. She has talent, we know that, but how many times do I want to keep going to you at a short number and you just keep burning me before I learn my lesson? I'm going to throw her out. I'm only going to use 3 in here. I don't know how I would want to weight them, though. Elate, obviously, is one of them. Summer Luck, the other Cassie in here. I just think, we laughed about it. Last weekend, she was entered at the fairgrounds. She was entered at Gulfstream. Scratched out of both of them. She shows up here. Florent Giroux being named on this time. Now I know she's going to run here. She's supposed to anyway. I think she got a big chance. And Daddy's Little Darling, I don't know if I would use her as a backup or I would actually use her as a main part of the 3. That's still TBD for me, but those are the 3 horses that I would use.
Elate's my A and my only A in the Ashland. I will use Pretty City Dancer as a B. I think she is the class of the race, and maybe she is rounding back into form. It's now her 3rd start back off that injury-induced layoff, but I agree with everything you said about Summer Luck, who's my other B in this race, and I can't think of a better anchor for this all-graded stakes pick 5 than race number 10, the Bluegrass, $1 million race for 3-year-olds on the way to the Kentucky Derby. Boy, what a deep race this is.
Yeah, my opinion in this race is, as much as I respect him from a talent standpoint, I don't want Practical Joke. I'm throwing him out. I'm not going to tier these horses in any order. I'm going to use all of them equally. I'm going to use Wild Shot, the horse that I like, on top. I think he has a chance to go gate the wire. I'm going to use McCracken, who I think is the most likely winner, but a tepid sort of choice. I wouldn't want him at the 6 or 7 to 5 that he is on the morning line. I'm also going to use Tappert and J Boy's Echo. But for me, really, the race is I don't like the idea of Practical Joke at the distance. I'm throwing him out. I'm using those 4 in equal weight.
I'm very confident in Tappert. The Clocker report out for Keeneland available on drf.com. They really like what Tappert's been doing coming into this race. Pletcher is on fire. He's my only A. I'm not going to let McCracken beat me in the anchor leg of this pick 5. J Boy's Echo is my other B.
The other beautiful thing about this sequence, they pay 4 out of 5.
Right.
And it can carry over. So there's just, if you needed any more reason to play the sequence, there you go.
All graded stakes pick 5, $300,000 guaranteed pool. You're going to have a $400,000 guaranteed all graded stakes pick 4. The pick 5, though, races 6 through 10. Best of luck on opening Saturday at Keeneland.